or a redress of grievances. And I just kind of want to get people's opinions on how they interpret our freedom of speech, um, and kind of give a reason of how I interpret it. It's, in my opinion, it is our most important speech, or our most important um, God-given right. And I feel as though people are censoring themselves or letting themselves be censored, which only gives fuel to the fire and keeps censoring, because once you start self-censoring, everyone becomes censored. Um, I am a huge believer in um, there is no such thing as hate speech, but there is speech that you hate. Um, there is hateful speech. There's speech you shouldn't, in your own morality, not you shouldn't say. But just because someone calls you a derogatory term doesn't mean that you should be petitioning for them to be arrested, or, as we all know, cancel culture. People make mistakes. Hey, Progressive. Hey, Casey. They make mistakes, but something that somebody says in the privacy of their own home or 30 years ago should not be held against them now. Give me 1 second so I can give you one Progressive. So I don't know. Is there? I know Cotton's gonna come up in a bit. Oh, there she is. Can I hear you this time?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, good deal. You got it, girl.
Oh, just what? Like, I want to talk about. It's. Not that I'm trying to self-censor, but I feel like we've become so accustomed to censoring ourselves on YouTube, and it takes away the effectiveness of certain things.
I
If,
agree.
if a child is going through sex trafficking and is being sexually assaulted, that needs to be said. It doesn't need, okay, they're going through, the T word or they're being SA'd. No.
Right. I agree with that. Yes, absolutely.
And it seems, they talk about when it comes to cancel culture. I don't believe in cancel culture. If I'm around someone and they say something or do something that I don't agree with, I just move on. I move on.
I
Um,
don't agree with it either, but there's some people that need to go. You know what I'm saying? That
if
I don't know.
if there
I
are
agree
people
with it to a
who,
point.
like, if you're out there threatening someone, if you're um, I don't know if it's, I know one's written, one's spoken, libel, slander, those should not be allowed. Those are not protected.
Yes. If you're getting somebody's doxing you and whatever, and all that, and they just keep on the dirty bullshit all the time, they need to go.
Right. That is not protected because you are now interfering on somebody else's right. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you are not, their character is being attacked, and that's wrong. But for someone to call someone, a hateful word, I don't believe that I don't believe it's right, but I don't believe that they should be canceled for that, because it's their freedom. If they want to say, like, so and so is a jerk, okay, you don't have to like it, but it's not hate speech.
Right. And and it depends on where you grow up in the world too, of the different things you say. Like I grew up saying the R word, not the RAPE, but you know what I'm talking about? You're like, oh, that's so R.
Oh, I
And
you don't
now
have
you
to
can't
censor,
even
like,
say
it
it
is.
on here because it offends so many people. But I don't say it to hurt anybody. I just say it, you know, like, and I
It
grew up saying, oh, that's
Yes.
so gay. But now you can't say it like that.
Oh,
Eli.
hey, Eli.
Hi guys. Don't mind me.
So
I'm gonna hop off cam, but I'm gonna be on, and I'm gonna listen. I'm gonna do my best to listen and not talk. But I love what we're talking about here.
Well,
How's it feel to be under two girls, Eli?
Oh, this is perfectly fine with me. Thank you.
well, you're really like when you were talking about like Matt Taibbi, he basically lost his freedom of speech by bringing awareness to the Twitter files. And they might not have censored his speech per se, but they still went after him.
Yeah, and that's what needs calling out. That's what needs the people cannot pretend to care about our rights if we do not fight for them. So when we learned that the IRS was used as a weapon of intimidation, we should be absolutely outraged, and there needs to be more transparency about that.
People don't realize that our agencies are not to be used as weapons against us or intimidation tactics.
I agree.
Tax-funded three-letter agencies are not here to serve the people. They're here to serve the illusion of a system that works. That's
exactly. Just watching like the Waco siege, the way they turn the military against our own people is there's so much wrong with that it infuriates me that like not a lot of us see it that way.
Well, look at Trump. He's the first U.S. president ever to be indicted.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? And now you're indicting our presidents and stuff. Whenever Bill Clinton got a blowjob and this one got a blowjob and this and that, or but why are you going to single out Donald Trump?
Not only that, the MENA connections with Bill Clinton.
I think it's very obvious why they went for him, because he did not and does not fit with the status quo that we've always been accustomed to. He speaks
because he's one of us.
He doesn't mince words, and I would be singing a different tune. I'm a new Republican. Like just maybe 6 months ago, I was still all left. It's been an evolutional ride for me, but
I used to be Democratic until Trump. And I started seeing the good he really did do for our country. And he wasn't in it for the money. He ain't afraid to call out the fake news. He's not afraid to tell it like it is. He'll stand up to anybody. And I love that about him. And he puts our military first.
You know what it was for me? And I think the transition for me was, it was over a span of 4 years. But because of the show I did before this channel, I had to vet all of the information that we got from the media. And every time, as the Democrat side of a show called Stuck in the Middle, I kept finding out that they were lying to us. So through no fault of anybody's except the mainstream media, I switched sides because I learned we essentially.
And there's a lot of Democrats doing that.
Yes, there is.
There's
a lot.
I feel like a lot of the Democrats that we see switching are the ones that are very, very center or more right of center. They're not. You're never going to see that far left come to the right.
You're well, I don't know. Here's what's crazy. Okay, my whole
Thor.
It's good to see you, Thor. I haven't seen Thor in a long while, but I've been hearing about you. But we'll talk about that another time. All good stuff.
Thor. I didn't even see him down there.
I went from a radical Bernie Sanders, progressive, Antifa supporting, BLM supporting, all of the above, to literally Antifa was I was on the phone with some guy who was trying to downplay how communist he was. And then when we got on the phone on a personal line, he was detailing trying to convince me to commit a crime and go do some destruction. And I drew my line in the sand because the left became too radical and you could no longer speak out within the left.
And now it's really sad because there's people in our Republican Party who are doing that to other Republicans. I mean, You can't look at all of the Republicans like Liz Cheney and how they basically said that we were domestic terrorists on January 6th when she knew good and damn well that that's not what it was.
And Lindsey Graham, who is pretending that he was not and is not a co-sponsor of what I call the Patriot Act 2.0, which will take away our freedom of speech on this platform.
It'll take away our freedom of privacy. They want access to our Ring doorbell cameras and our security cameras. Like, I don't even want my neighbors or my friends to have access to that. Why does the government think that they deserve access to that?
That's their big
Yep,
brother.
I agree.
They want to take away, they want to make it illegal to use a VPN within the bill, which is insane. Why would you want to?
That's for our safety personally.
Mhm.
Precisely. So you'll empower, like, the people that dox and do all this foolishness on this platform will be the exact examples that are used by such a crazy administration like the Biden administration. They are going to be the people that give the reasons for that bill to be pushed forward. So I hope people, take accountability.
But
That's like on here, they'll let people dox us all day long, but they'll take down a video like this, that's controversial
Mhm.
just to try to silence us.
I'm
They
learning.
don't care about our protection.
I'm a little impressed right now, and this is probably the first time I'm speaking positively about YouTube, because there is an exodus going on at Rumble. People are leaving here to go to there. I've been pushing the envelope, saying I'm not using code words anymore. I'm cussing. I just wait the 15 minutes. I'm saying all the controversial terms, phrases, the pokey poke and all the names, and I just dispute when they put the yellow strike, and I go green after a couple days. So right now we're good. We're on an upswing. Just keeping them accountable. That's all I ask of any platformer to do of their audience.
Yeah, like they didn't used to want us to
It's
cuss
the
on here. What's wrong with cussing?
It's
Well,
the AIs.
go on.
Yeah. It's they. I don't know. It bothers me. They want us to be quiet.
You can curse. If you're monetized, there's a punishment where, there's different ways they go about this. The demonetization.
They say advertisers.
Yeah, right. They restrict your advertisers, or they'll completely red. If they read you, that means you get nothing. There's not a lot in revenue, but if you curse in the first 15 minutes, but you can curse all you want after that, I think they kind of shadow ban you in the algorithm. That's my theory. I can't prove it.
That's why I'm not monetized. I don't give no shits about it. It's too much bullshit you don't really make enough. I didn't try or nothing really, but yeah, they wanted to get me every time I turned around. I want to be myself.
Right. Well, it's interesting. Like you say that basically you have to be beholden to these rules to make money.
Mm-hmm. It was very stressful being monetized for me.
Sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry. Please continue.
I was just going to say, it reminds me of like the 503c for churches. You have to not say anything bad about the LGBTQ community, or you lose your charitable status. Like, you have to be beholden to these rules that don't line up with like basic, like faith-based, just to keep the status.
I'm fighting that battle, but I am noticing the numbers aren't as strong when I am more critical on those exact issues, because I'm a fully, I accept I am what's considered a TERF, trans exclusionary radical feminist. I don't. There's just a lot of conversation to be had there, but I cannot. They're not demonetizing me. They're not punishing me financially, but perhaps they're messing with the algorithm.
See, there's so many, and that bothers me too. Calling biological men and women certain terms is derogatory. Like, I'm a woman. Like, I'm not a cis. I'm not a TERF or what. Like, I'm just a woman.
That's just another way that they use to fraction everybody into different tribes. You have a very strong point. Things are actually a lot simpler, but if they make us think that it's so complicated that we suddenly feel we have to walk on eggshells, we're losing the battle of the First Amendment.
Exactly. As soon as we start self-censoring, we've lost.
I'm never gonna self-censor. I've been feeling quite liberated, and I think it's worth it. I'm proud that I've been able to maintain the numbers I've had, and I will keep on pressing forward. You know, I'm not a big YouTuber by any means, but I'm gonna keep on with non-censoring and hope others follow suit. Like I take pictures every time YouTube puts on the restricted revenue and remember, the only time I got a strike was back with the COVID thing. You can talk about COVID now. They've lifted that. So
Yeah,
I'm
because
really,
it came out to be true what we were saying.
that's correct. Yes. I probably say the story too often, but I was given my first and only strike for reading an op-ed by an actual virologist out loud. And when I contested it, YouTube essentially said, "You're not a doctor. You can't read that out loud." That was insane. But times have changed. I would like to see bigger platformers, larger numbers, test the waters with YouTube as well.
But they're afraid of losing that monetization.
Well, it's not enough to be afraid of, from at least for me personally. So I guess you have a point there with whomever's out there that gets those numbers.
I mean, look at Crowder. He was monetized, demonetized, supposedly accidentally remonetized again, and then demonetized.
You were the one rare dissenter. I made a poll about Crowder, and there seems to be a lot, even within the conservative base. A lot of people are okay with him being completely canceled. The video is disturbing, but I don't know if it's enough to take a man's livelihood, you know?
Right. That's what I was actually talking to my dad about that today is, it was a 3-minute clip. We have no idea what happened before. We have no idea what happened after. I am not by any means saying that that clip was acceptable or his behavior was acceptable, but we can't judge him on 3 minutes, a 3-minute snapshot into his life and marriage.
I agree wholeheartedly. I mean, I do feel other opinions about him recording his friends, and then he made the accusation of they were siding with big tech. He turned down $50 million a year, and then played the recordings of the contract negotiations. That one I'm on the fence about, but I do not agree with canceling the man.
So with that, he made, like, when he first came out and said he was getting divorced, he said that there were people who were privy to that because this has been happening. Like, the video happened in June or July of 2021. And the way he made it sound was people at the Daily Wire knew about his situation. And I almost wonder if he felt like they were trying to take advantage of him because he was at his lowest point.
Did you check some of the other sides where he accused Candace Owens very openly, and then I saw the clips that he claims she's openly talking about him, and I just don't see his side of the argument. I think
she was on Twitter saying, Steven Crowder is a monster, changed my mind.
Okay. See, I didn't know that. I've only seen her videos, and the evidence she's provided for him saying that she's tried to extort him, that I did not see. But silencing any opposition does not work, because that sets the example where it's all well and good to silence your enemy until you're the enemy.
Right. I love Candace Owens. I respect her. I think she was a very good voice for the especially the Christian conservative movement. It just, and I'm not saying I don't like her. I'm not saying that she should be canceled by any means. It just put a really bad taste in my mouth. One of her other Twitter posts was, at first she was saying that he needed prayer. And then the next tweet was, I can't even ask my followers to pray for him because of how much of a monster he is. And looking at it as a Christian, you pray for your enemies harder than you pray for your friends because they need it more. And it's obvious. And it was obvious he needed it. So it just, I guess that just like left a bad taste in my mouth. Like, you can't abandon your morals and your Christian values just because somebody makes you mad.
That shows a lack of conviction in the actual faith she stands for. But that's between her and her maker. I do agree with the premise.
I I just find it all very convenient that he left the Blaze. He's in the middle of a divorce, the whole Daily Wire scandal, and now this video, which apparently his wife released to a really shady reporter. Um, it it just kind of it's kind of convenient for me for them to do that.
Um, I'm uncertain as to, like, there's a lot of context I'm missing. They have whatever's going on. If there's a campaign going on to have us all hate Crowder, it's doing a pretty good job. But I still, nothing can get me to agree with putting some duct tape over somebody's mouth. That's not how you win a
Yeah.
battle.
Mm-mm. And I think, he does just kind like you. He wants to be transparent. Like he wants to be like open up front. This is what's going on. I honestly think that he got a tip that security camera video was going to be released, which is why he came out like that Tuesday before and said, I've been going through a divorce.
Yeah, he was very vague, which had me considering that I guess maybe, I don't know, he was testing the limits of how much he was willing to speak on, and because some things didn't stack up, the wife felt it necessary to retaliate because he has the public platform. So
Right.
it's to me, that's a double-edged sword. If you're a public person, you're opening yourself up for all kinds of attacks and whatnot. And if you speak about somebody who's private and wants that privacy, you have to expect some sort of clapback. So I don't know.
Right. And he's always been private about his family. He'll tell stories about his wife, but she's never been a big topic because he wants his privacy. And I think he's only posted a few pictures of his twins, Magnus and Charlotte, because he says it's not it's not my choice whether their face gets out or not. It's it's their choice when they get old enough to make it.
I wish that's how the world would operate, truly. Like, that's a level of decency that I've learned just doesn't exist. I think
No.
the art of trying to connect us all with this technology has blown up in our face and brought out the worst in people because they thrive off of anonymity and no accountability. But that being said, I do see, I guess, more nuance with Steven Crowder's issues going on because some of the things he did say did warrant a response, and I still don't agree with him recording secretly phone
Right.
conversations and revealing that. So, I'm of two minds on it.
It just seems like, I don't know. In my head, this is a private matter.
Should have been.
And for anyone to think that they're entitled to know like these private marital details about him and his wife, it is the entitlement just blows my mind.
That's what you get with any consumer base. That's what uh nothing. What when you have a whole bunch of viewers, I think that starts to come when with the platform, with being a public figure, people will demand more and expect more, and it's up to anyone with the platform to draw the line.
Mhm. Well, even like with people on here who are getting doxxed, it's like it's almost like you always have this fear of like, well, what can I post? Because I don't want to give out too much information of myself that might be used against me later.
It's too little, too late for me. The show I did prior to this channel, I was 100% transparent, still am, and that did come back to haunt me. But I've just learned to roll with it. Not that anybody should have to deal with doxing and the levels that people sink. I wish it wasn't a part of it, but if you put yourself out there, it's just a part of the process. I wish it wasn't so.
I I feel like I've been on these internet streets so long that I don't I don't have anything to lose. Like if you think that you're going to affect my marriage, my life, my job, my friends by doxing me, then go for it because you're not going to get the response that you think you're going to get. I am very transparent. I try the best I can to keep my kids off the internet. I don't hardly ever post pictures of them because they're my kids. They're not the world's kids. And it just sucks that we have to we have to censor ourselves so that things aren't used against us.
There's a vast network of people that will use everything and anything that they want to and can against you. And yeah, that's just the reality.
I just went through that myself, and that's why I doxed myself recently before anybody else could. I was getting threatened to get doxed, and that's why I doxed myself. No, you ain't.
Do you
That's
mind
my power.
if I ask you a little bit about that, or is that rehashing?
I'd rather not talk about it. I'm
Okay.
over it, but yeah, it was a
fully respect that.
yeah.
My
It was a relationship, if you want to call it, gone wrong, you know.
And the other side, when it went wrong, I guess that's I get it. Apparently, my brother for the past 4 years, my brother and my nephew have been getting doxxed for 4 years, about 3 times a year. I just learned that this past week, where somebody calls the cops and says somebody's going to end their unalive themselves. I'm using the code words out of respect for the, this is not my page where I go balls.
I had that said to me too.
You don't have to censor.
You're cool with the F word?
Yep.
Okay.
Because we're good. Go ahead.
Thanks.
I don't want to. It takes the weight of it away when you censor yourself, and it just no censoring.
Yeah, good. It takes away the fluidity of trying to, just get all your thoughts out there on the table, and I won't stand for it. I will not be on a platform where I have to walk on fucking eggshells. So that's why I made my change.
Freedom of speech on here. So, like I said, if suicide, I mean, that's what it is.
Yeah, why should we censor such a topic that needs to be talked about a lot more?
Precisely. You got to think about always, whenever there's a crime or something, you have to ask like the first question, who does it benefit? So let's say, for example, censorship is the crime. Ask yourself, who the fuck does it benefit? It would benefit the fucking people committing the crimes. The ones that want to keep us silent about sensitive topics, issues, the Epstein flight logs and fucking Isaac Cappy, all the shit I talk about on my channel that I feel free as a bird. Whistleblowers being massively just ended. This is why I think we have such a fucking blessing.
Isaac Cappy, I want to say something on that. Cher had a conspiracy channel a few years ago, and she was covering Isaac Cappy and Tom Hanks. She lost that whole channel, no warning, no email, no nothing. Gone. Wiped clean. Yep.
And how that is such a violation of her freedom of speech.
Yep. No, I mean, she couldn't even, fight it because she didn't get no emails or nothing. It was just like it never happened. Gone. Tom Hanks got her.
That wow.
Okay.
I mean, I love Cher. She's been like one of the most supportive people of my whole crazy journey here. I didn't know.
That's my girl there.
Yeah, I haven't really been on her channel in a minute, but damn. Well, I hope the standards have fucking changed because I've been talking about Isaac Cappy and Tom Hanks in my last few lives.
Be careful with that one. Squid, he remembers that. It was fucked up.
Yeah, this is like the 4th warning I've gotten about talking about Cappy. So thank you. Yeah. I'm gonna keep pushing the boundaries. Well, look at what it falls into. Yeah, the Hanks is Hollywood, and it gets really deep and dark.
That's why I want to talk about whenever we do John Podesta, me and Squid. I'm gonna do it on my backup channel. I don't want to lose my main channel. I'm not monetized, but I don't want to lose it.
Oh, I'll fucking chance it. I really
I've done lost it twice. I'm tired of losing it.
I don't blame you. I fully get it. Just with me and YouTube, this is more like a side passion project. And if I can't be fully passionate about it, well, then it's no longer a project. But and then fuck it, I'll just go to Rumble. But right now, I want to push the envelope. That's my whole purpose.
I I, like you said, why censor things that are so, I mean, number one, they almost sound too crazy to be true, which makes them even more believable, in my
Truth is
opinion.
stranger than fiction. Always remember.
And so it's like, but why are you trying, if he's, if he's this crazy, why are you trying to censor him? Just let him keep talking like a crazy person. Or is there truth
Mhm.
to what he's saying?
I believe
Like
so.
in taking Cher's channel, that shows that they're trying to keep something hush
Mhm.
hush, you know?
Was that like when Cher was talking about it? Was it still close to the timing of when it went down? Or
Yeah.
well
She
after?
done a few lives, I believe, and it was, yeah, she didn't get very far into it.
Jesus H, man. I have like 8 months. I'm gonna do it again. Fuck it. Okay. Good. Y'all
But
give me
like Squid says though, definitely use code words and stuff with that one for real, and allegedly, and in my opinion, because they will get your channel, I promise you.
oh, when talking about other people, yeah, I learned
No, I'm talking about as a Cappy in that situation. It's,
specifically. Yeah,
I don't want to see you lose your channel over just trying to test it, you know?
yeah, I'll mind my P's and Q's and I'll add the safety words like the cushions, like crash test dummies as
Which
best.
is fucked up. You got to do that, but I would hate to see you lose your channel, Eli.
I would too because it is catharsis for me. It's my replacement for therapy. This is my means of getting all my mania out. But
But you could probably even get Cher on your channel to go over that, what happened with her and that and all that. That'd be an interesting live, you and her.
oh yeah, her and I've been talking about doing a live together for a very long time. But I fully understand how life is such a chaotic thing. To find a moments of peace or free time is so precious and rare. Like this
Yeah,
is
she's been working now too, and
oh no kidding.
yeah, she's had a job for a while now.
Shit, man, I've been out of the loop. The last time I spoke to her, like I've been fortunate enough to speak to Papa Share, and I love when people give me flack for supporting anybody for that matter. But anytime people want to give me shit for supporting Share publicly, it's just an opportunity for me to make a fool of them publicly.
Cher is one of the realest, most transparent people on YouTube. I'm serious, and they won't take the chance to get to know her. I've known her for going on 4 years now. Before she got with Mr. Cher.
Why does it matter who people are friends with?
I
That
know. I don't give a shit. I go where I want.
Like,
that yeah.
I'm not forcing anybody to be anybody else's friend. So why does it matter if I'm friends with them?
That's the thing I learned to despise the most on YouTube. That's one of the reasons why I had to take a month off because I felt I was involved in too much tribalism. I felt like I was involved with people that wanted me to just agree, nod my head, go with the tide, not against it. And it made me feel kind of physically ill, especially when I took a stance and I was gone for 4 days. And then a bunch of communities that I was a part of took the full fucking opportunity to talk a bunch of shit. So yeah, I learned me some lessons there. That's why I stay focused on my topics.
I don't I don't like the whole just nod and agree. That's not how things are.
No, fuck that.
If something's right or something's wrong, it needs to be said, or it's just gonna keep continuing that cycle.
Mm-hmm.
I wish there would be more awakenings to celebrating independent thinking. It's a beautiful thing when people come together in agreement. It's a beautiful thing when we celebrate something that's ideal and familiar, but it's even more precious when we can have an open discussion about things we don't fucking agree on. That's the whole point of connecting.
Mhm. And not only that, but it's a healthy debate. It's not, oh, you don't agree with me, so I'm going to personally attack you.
Yeah, trust me, because I didn't agree with certain communities. I got my work number doxed. I started getting random phone calls. Oh, it was a lovely old time. Bless their hearts.
I just
We all learn the hard way on here, seriously.
Oh,
I
precisely.
came on here in the beginning with my screen name as my name. It's like,
Oh man,
Mhm. Mine was too. My full name. That was like my handle, and it's like, maybe I should.
remember
Not
I
that I
had,
care.
I even told you that. I was like, you need to change that.
Yes. I was like, shit. Let me go ahead and change it. I mean, like I said, I I emailed Eli on my work email, and I'm like, this has my last name in it. And it's like, who? Whatever.
Oh yeah, thanks for that. I now have your social security and I'm paying all your bills now. Mission accomplished. Thank you, Alex.
You want mine
Speaking,
too? You can pay my bills.
Oh yeah, yeah. Send. I need your social. I need all passwords, full access. Yes, please. And then the whole purpose is just to pay your bills. Y'all caught me.
see,
Pimp Daddy Eli.
what'll happen is we'll get the 25K deposit, and then he'll be like, "All right, I need you to go get me $25,000 in gift cards." And
Oh, I invented that. That was me. And then the scam callers from all the other countries, they took that from me. It was once called pulling an Eli, but that's okay. I get royalties by scamming y'all right now.
oh Lord, it's just oh, those
Got,
people are the best.
gotta have a sense of humor on this fucking thing too. I learned that too.
Oh my gosh. Speaking of, so this is gonna kind of go a little conspiracy, I guess. But what was y'all's like waking up moment?
There's been quite a few, dear. You may have to specify when it comes to like awakening to what context, to what I
Um, so like my wake up moment, I can tell you the exact date, and it's probably the stupidest thing ever. But it was March 3rd. I'm sorry, March 8th, 2014, when MH370 went missing. That was my what the fuck is going on wake up moment, to where I was like, not ever, I was living in this dream, and it was like, yo, we just lost a Boeing 777.
still to this
What?
day.
Exactly. And me being not really realizing it, started looking into things, and I'm like, so no, we have NORAD. Why can't we tell them what happened with this airplane? Why are we not telling them? And it took me down the conspiracy rabbit hole. I started listening to like Dabu 7 and Monograph and all Spiro and all the truther channels. And like from that day until Trump came into office and basically blew the doors off of everything, I was that crazy conspiracy theorist who did not believe anything the government was telling us.
I don't think I have it in me to believe the government anymore at all. That I man, I hate when I feel like I sound like I'm praising Trump too much because I don't believe in idolizing anybody, so fiercely. But he did impact some effective change, and there's so many reasons that they're still going after him. Look, the Steele dossier failed. The media all but completely admitted that it was fabricated, as did the FBI. What more example do you need that they want to silence this man and put him away, and that he's
Did you see he's trying to get his thing to the federal court?
good?
Get it out of Manhattan. I
Needs
agree.
to go
Good.
as far as possible. Here's my one fear
Somewhere unbiased.
with Trump. My only fear is at me in Florida. I've really grown to respect and appreciate DeSantis, what he's done for us, especially during COVID. Putting them against one another will fraction the conservative base, and we need that fucking unity. The left is all fucked, and all they want is a weekend right. So that's the only area I'm nervous.
I agree with that.
I just believe if he was never elected, a lot of people would still be asleep. I just
me. I never followed none of this. I come from a little country town, and I never got into politics or nothing until like the past couple years, and when Biden took over, and I started actually seeing the difference. And I'm like, fuck.
I have such a strong disdain. I won't hold back. I mean it when I say, let me get on camera for dramatic effect. I fucking hate the Bidens. I hate Hunter Biden. I hate fucking President Biden. Okay, not allegedly. Me, Eli. I fucking hate them. They're criminals. They're compromised. They're in bed allegedly with China.
I thought you were gonna call them cocksuckers.
All right, so fuck them all. We got to get them the hell out of there. That's a main concern. And one thing I really learned when I was still on the fucking left, the biggest thing there was spite voting, which was, I have no passion in my actual candidate. I just want that asshole gone. Orange man bad. Since when did we ever have a fucking thing called something derangement syndrome, and we put the name of a fucking candidate running? That's how crazy the whole thing is and still is.
So I told Julian that I was going to vote Democrat in the primaries. And this man looked at me and said, should I pack my stuff now to leave?
See,
Because
I-
I'm a registered independent
oh, good.
and I can vote in either primary. Well, at this point, I'm pretty sure and feel confident, Trump or DeSantis will win the nomination for Republican. So why waste my vote on that when I can try to primary Biden out of the flipping general?
I think it's a gamble. It's such a gamble. But also I'm a man sitting here with zero faith in our electoral system, especially after everything that has happened, everything that's been said publicly by the powers that be, by the media, and fucking Dominion and Fox telling us that they were wrong, and Dominion countersuing. I have zero faith. So I'm still going to do my part and vote. But I really I think all of us as a country needs to feel some kind of fucking faith in the system that we were indoctrinated to believe in.
They need to stop changing the laws to allow voting 2 weeks past election day. We need to quit mailing out ballots to people the only people who should be getting mail-in ballots are our elderly or our homebound citizens who cannot physically go vote. Anybody else, if you want to vote, your butt better be at that polling station.
I agree. Absolutely.
Full agreement here.
In my opinion, that's the only way Biden won was in mail-ins.
Yes, and they kept something with the Pennsylvania voting. They changed the laws, and so it just allowed this continuation of when are y'all going to stop counting these ballots that are 2 weeks late? This is insane.
Mm-hmm.
So on the show I came from, Stuck in the Middle, we were live streaming that very count, and I'll never forget it because we were all there. The world fucking stopped. The count, when it was going too much in favor of Trump and it stuck at this number, it was like that for well over 24 hours, and then suddenly, boom, giant burst of Biden.
Mm-hmm.
We all saw bullshit, man. And then we got
at that time, I was like, I don't care who wins because, you got to pick the lesser of the two evil. And then now I'm like, fuck.
Yeah. I hate that term because I lived by it for such a long time. I got to settle of two evils. The whole two-party system to represent such a fucking melting pot like our country is a ridiculous ploy. And I wish that could change. But we got to just start with getting this goddamn administration gone. That's all.
We're in the same boat, Eli.
They just passed or upheld a law here in North Carolina where you have to, the voter ID, you have to have an ID to vote, which I think that should be, that's just common sense.
It's bad you even got to say you got to have a valid ID.
Right. Yeah. It should be common sense. You need to be a citizen. It doesn't have to be a driver's license. It can be an ID card, which they have programs for people who can't afford them to get them for free.
With all the examples that we have of foul play for elections, I'll add allegedly, factually, we saw evidence of people that are no longer alive voting. And just that alone should be a huge red flag. And I just can't believe that things that play through. When we say truth is stranger than fiction, we're not fucking freestyling bullshitting here. We're watching them spit in our face and call it democracy and or republic. I want to see us win again.
They've given us this illusion that we have a democracy. No, we don't. We have a democratic public, a democratic republic. They are completely different things. And for them to keep telling us that we have a democracy, it's almost like they're just trying to just take it away from us.
That's the art of wordplay, I believe. Just like the media will slow drip the truth when it starts out as a bold-faced lie, and then look at COVID, for example. And I've said this enough on my channel that I have faith. It's okay to say it here. They slow drip the information. with vaccines also having adverse effects. Matter of fact, that's what the Titter files released as well. Matt Taibbi found congresswomen and studies that showed adverse effects that directly impact children being alive being published, and they were censored. And we got to find out that Twitter, when before it was owned by Elon Musk, had less than 100 but over 80 meetings with the fucking FBI. What the fuck?
Look how fast they came out that vaccine, but you can't find something to help cancer.
Exactly.
There's so many examples where this shit is like, it's so obvious, but I don't understand how the system can keep on trudging forward as if these things haven't happened before our eyes. So I do hope we all get awake. Hello, somebody on panel. Blessed saving grace.
Oh, she's
Hello.
awesome. I love her.
I just had I was like, I'm not gonna forget, and I forgot. Oh, what I
Oh,
was
we got
gonna
a
say in response to
Wow.
that. I know I've been having squirrels all day.
I
Thanks
call
for
it
letting me join.
Yes, of course. I just wanted to I want it to be, I hate to use the term, safe space for people's freedom of speech and have their own opinions without people trying to cancel them.
Yes, thank you. It's like unheard of nowadays. That's crazy, but it's true.
We have all the freedoms that they want us to have.
Right.
So well,
What
when you have
position?
the frozen thought moment, when I'm on my channel and I'm ranting and I forget what I'm gonna say, I just say, "Sorry guys, I'm having a Biden. Sorry."
Funny.
Allie
I
said
told
that earlier. She feels like Biden.
I get nervous. And like you heard me when I first came on, I was like, my voice is cracked. Like I can't even talk.
How often do you go live often?
This is my second one.
Oh, no, okay. You get comfortable with it.
It gets easier.
It really does. Yeah.
It
Yeah,
took
I
me a minute to
didn't
find
think-
Ali's channel.
Yeah, they probably have it knocked down to shadow banned to death.
Oh, you know what? I gotta do my part. I'm gonna post this link on my community page.
I got it streaming on my channel, but I got the chat turned off and telling everybody come over here, try to get a little traffic. And
Let me-
They're awesome.
Oh yeah, that's why I couldn't chat on yours because it said live, and I'm
Yeah.
like, no, it can't be. Okay.
yeah, I turned the chat off, so they have to come over here.
Oh, that happened to me too. And I was like, what the fuck in this
Yeah,
sense
no,
is
I don't
going
think
on?
I have it set to where you have to be a subscriber or anything.
You're fully open, transparent, public, all good.
That's why I don't like. I understand why some people have like private Facebooks or not Facebooks, like private social media. But me being someone who doesn't post, like my children are like the only thing I really care about being put out there. I always have like my Twitter is open, my TikTok, when Instagram let me have Instagram, those were open. Like if you're going to put it on the internet, it's never going to be private, whether you think you have this illusion that it is or not.
Yeah, none of it's private.
Right? Yep. Despite your best wishes, you really have to kind of go through a little inventory and accept that which you may not want to. That it's all almost fair game, as unfair as it will seem when you get up on this thing.
Well, as soon as you let someone follow you and they have access, even if you're private, you no longer have that privacy because you don't know what they're going to do with that information.
Oh, well, that, and we have, apparently servers in China collecting our data so we can be fucking sold as monetary gain. I did one of my lives that I'm proud of is when I found a story about a whistleblower that showed this company that sells something like, let's say, for example, an electric ceiling fan, and it has a fucking camera that none of the consumers are told, and it takes pictures of you and your family, and it has a camera that can identify every product and who manufactures it, and that's the data that they sell to other fucking companies, so the algorithm knows how to market and what to market to you. And this is out there. This truth is out there, and I just don't understand. Nothing changes.
China hates me. Sorry. I was trying to find my thing because China literally like I don't know. I don't know how I still have a TikTok.
I hate TikTok with a passion, but don't believe a word about the bill that's aptly mistitled, and this is by design. It's not a fucking TikTok bill. It's an overreach bill, and it's the
It's
one
a
that
TikTok bill to get Republicans to ban it because Trump was so outspoken on banning TikTok. So they mask it as that. So Republicans blindly go, oh, yes, ban TikTok, while they're letting the government have full access to their personal lives.
you are right.
Yes, right now that TikTok ban, that act, they got it sounding like that's the only thing it's going to do is ban TikTok. No, it opens the government into anything over a million followers, I believe, and stuff like that.
It can block you from
Crazy,
using a
scary.
VPN so that you cannot protect. And yes, Squid, we're talking about the Restrict Act, which has been co-sponsored by both parties. Always question any bill that gets signed in without you hearing one party bitch about it. And that bill is bipartisan. So you know you have to do some extra sniffing. And that's why it's immortalized in my mind when on Fox News they asked Lindsey Graham, why are you condoning all of this? And he fucking played dumb. He co-sponsored it. He didn't just sign his name. He helped build the goddamn bill. So always have questions. Just be skeptical.
So bipartisan is when both of them agree.
That is correct.
Mhm.
When both parties just almost unanimously vote something, and there's enough of a majority vote, that means it's approved by both the House and the Senate, and it becomes a law.
They basically railroad it through and force it.
And another one that I love calling out, there is no such thing. This is what the media and the left did as a one-time lefty for many years. There is no such thing as the Don't Say Gay bill. It's not that's just a bullshit title. All that bill stipulates there's not a single damn thing about homosexuality. It only says that teachers can't talk to your children about sex. That's it. That's fucking all.
Can I just say, I'm 33 years old, and I never once growing up thought about my teachers' marriage, sexuality, what they did outside of school. And they never told us. And guess what? We all grew up to be fine.
Yeah.
Like,
I do not understand like the way they're going about things. It's look at what's happening to the youth right now. And by the way, Squid, I notice you speak, you know your stuff. I appreciate that in the comments there.
He's very smart.
I've seen Squid before, I believe, but yeah,
He's part of Shares too.
Oh, okay, that's where I've seen Squid.
He's OG.
Good. I love OGs, and it means I have some level of trust. I hated being so nervous about who was lurking and doing whatnot, but once you learn to let that just roll right off, you can really have a good time on here.
Oh yeah, I trust Squid with my life. He's
That's
my bro.
It's a very honorable and precious thing to have in such a chaotic world.
True that.
Hold on. I kind of want to share. I want to share this video of Crowder that I put
See,
on
I
TikTok.
still haven't even looked into him. I need to look into that. I squirrel off and forget.
He's
The
the
whole situation with his wife.
yeah.
No, this is
well, go on.
This is an old video. The one I wanted to show is like it's way older.
Okay.
It's about the CCP and TikTok.
Oh, cool.
When people don't know Crowder, I just say he's the change my mind guy, and that's
Exactly.
really earned my appreciation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, see.
Thank you. Yeah, no, yeah, I'm glad you said that because I didn't think I really liked him because I seen a video one time, but I didn't know it was that guy. Okay.
He has the balls to actually have discourse and go to universities and say, "Okay, here's my beliefs. Now share yours. Let's have a conversation. Let's see what you got."
Right.
Feel free, Ali.
Yeah. All right. Let me know if you can hear it.
To close my TikTok.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Did y'all hear that? You could? See, I couldn't hear it, and I'm
I
wondering
heard
if
her
it
for a
has something
minute.
to do with my audio. Okay, well, I'll just let it play because this, for some reason, it's not letting me.
Okay.
Leapful Chinese citizens. On June 4th, 1989, the CC murdered dozens of protesters at the Tiananmen Square. Taiwan is, in fact, a real country and not a part of communist China. More than 1 million Uyghur Muslims in re-education camps in Xinjiang right now. By the way, also kimchi is Korean, not Chinese. Likely originated, and by likely I mean absolutely originated at the Wuhan Institute of Virology. And Xi Jinping looks exactly like Winnie the Pooh when he gets stuck in the honey tree. China's one-child policy led to millions of forced abortions. Boom, boom, go! And the Senkaku Islands, sorry. I just want to make sure I get this clear so that you can remove me appropriately, TikTok. The Senkaku Islands, however, I don't care. The point is, it belongs to Japan, not you. And finally, I think all of us can say this in unity on the count of three. 3, 2, fuck the CCP. Okay, Austin, get that up on TikTok over there. I appreciate it. And I encourage every single one of you to delete your own TikToks. If you have it, stop buying into the CCP subversion and let us know if you deleted it. Share a picture and using the hashtag trash TikTok.
Okay, I don't know why I can't hear that.
It was a little broken up, but we
Did-
heard it.
See, I don't know why. It was like the other day when I couldn't hear Cotton, and I was just talking over, like,
It's okay. We got the majority, I promise you. And see, he did something beautiful there. He used his platform to advocate for something good, for something very positive there. And then, you know, I'm 100% on board. I just did start remembering, though, some of the other shit that's going on with Crowder, which is very unfortunate. Now his own staffers, so-called friends, have come forward with these stories of, you know, misconduct and him like whipping his junk out and putting it on his coworker's head or shoulder. And this has already been released to the public. So yeah, he's getting the full cancel treatment.
like I know Dave Landau, which was his. He sat in the third chair for, gosh, Dave was there for a long time, and I really enjoyed Dave, but now it was like right before Crowder came out and said he was getting divorced that Dave came out and was like he was a shitty person. And it's like, why is everybody just dumping on him? Like, why did you stay there for 18 months or 24 months if he was such a shitty person? I wouldn't have put up with that.
This is where I can empathize because I experienced like, I guess, kind of a cancellation. You know, I know where I disappointed some people, but I know where it got overkill, and it's just easier to kick someone when they're down and when they're just being attacked in mass. And that's a hive mind thinking mentality that kicks in, and no one's fucking immune. Like whoever Not Gay Jared is, which is somebody that worked with him, that's the guy who came forward about Crowder putting his balls on his shoulder.
Did that guy come out before all of this with his license test?
I wonder, they said something about he had an NDA. Not Gay Jared did.
Yeah, apparently they all did. Which, if that's the case, wouldn't they be violating it? Somebody's got some heavy feedback, by the way.
I mean, NDAs are extremely common. I've had to sign NDAs.
I've been threatened with an NDA, and I said, "Kiss my ass."
But it's really to protect like proprietary information. Like they didn't want him to quit and then go to another outlet and start running content that like Crowder had already started working on.
Yeah, I get it.
So I don't get why they would use him not being able to speak out on how shitty Crowder is by using an NDA. Like an NDA wouldn't necessarily like cover that, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, I guess it's all dependent on the language of the NDA itself. You know, they're all different, but yeah, I don't know what the details of them are. And maybe the NDAs protect more so the content than they do allegations.
Yeah,
But I don't know. I'm only speculating.
it's just a really shitty situation. Like, Crowder was one of the main people, like him and Andrew Breitbart and Alex Jones. I love him to death. Call me crazy, but he's
No.
been more right than wrong.
This is not the place where we shit on you for supporting somebody. You can support who you want to. Don't feel ashamed. Just wanted to add that caveat.
Right, and thank you. I appreciate that. Same here. It's, I understand why people, like I said, I can see why people would have a bad taste in their mouth about Crowder. I just feel like he should have a benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, we've lost that in this country, by the way.
Oh yeah.
With the beauty of connecting all of us, it's given us the infinite possibility of having the strongest mob mentality ever. So.
Well, and that makes me think of January 6th. Like I said, they basically, by the time I made it from the Washington Monument to my friend's bar in Cleveland Park, which was maybe 30 minutes, the first thing a lady that was there said was, they're violently attacking and killing people at the Capitol. And I'm like, how? They couldn't have even made it there in time.
I think we all know what happened there. We know there was an excess of 32 to 42 FBI agents, embedded provocateurs, and people that were there, people that were ready to report and make it look as bad as possible. That was strategized.
Oh, yeah.
I won't even say
Somebody has some feedback. Sorry.
Yeah.
Is it mine?
Yeah, I think yeah, it is. So it's okay. It happens.
It just, when I was driving up to DC on the 5th with my friend Harlem, that was the last thing I ever thought. I was like, there's no way that they would do that to us. Like, and now in retrospect, it's like, you were so naive and so stupid to think that they wouldn't try something.
At these fucking hearings that they still have, the mainstream narrative that they will die on the hill for, not literally, okay, is that there was over 160 officers injured and one was killed. Bullshit.
No officers died. No police officers died on January 6th.
No, one of the guards committed suicide sometime after, and through the magic of the mainstream, they connected it to the trauma that must have been. Fucking get out of here.
But look at what they put the January 6th detainees through. That was completely unconstitutional.
Unconstitutional. Yep. That was quite, the R word of what we were always taught were our rights. And what happened was a travesty. The Buffalo guy was finally released. And I'm surprised we're not hearing more from these people. Are they still illegally detained?
I'm not sure. Sadly, I think a lot of them ended up taking plea deals because they just wanted to get out. And of course, it was the grandmas and the grandpas who were basically sightseeing that got hurt the worst.
I'll tell you, the first probably here, you know what? Not one of the moments that made me awake, which was a good question you had, but one of the times I had a most drastic change from being a lefty all my life is when J6 was live and happening. I went on before my channel got any shout out, and I fucking recorded it live, singing my praises about how I felt the American people. I didn't care that it was the other side. I was proud to see the working class American people doing something together, taking action. And then when I saw the media skewer it and make it look like a bad thing, that it just that added to my not believing in any sort of mainstream outlet ever again.
It was ridiculous. And even me telling people, I listened to Trump's speech. I stood there and I listened to it, and we went to walk away. And that's when more of all the people, you knew that they were not with you. You knew it. you could just tell by the way they looked, like they weren't there for fun. They weren't there because they wanted to show support. They were there for nefarious reasons. And I was like, look, we can't go, Harlem. I'm not going.
We
I'm
have
not going
more
where they're going.
evidence that shows a lot of bad bullshit happened to make it look as bad as possible. The police walking away and opening barriers, or at least that were dressed as police. This was stacked to work against us, and it's no coincidence that it was the first time in a long time that the American people got together for a cause. And I was
And
proud of it, even though it wasn't my side. I was fucking proud, and I still am. And now
I
it is my side, and I'm happy to be on it.
that where when people finally start realizing that, like, it's not about the division. We've got to quit thinking about the small things that are given to us to divide us.
Always
It-
look at the forest for the trees.
and realize that it doesn't matter, black, white, green, purple, yellow, we are all Americans. And that's always something that we should be proud of. We are the freest country in this world.
The only thing, well, let's say this is a little bit of the lefty left in me. I look at the statistics of like the most satisfied or the happiest or the most longevity, and that's like Finland, but it's hard to compare because the homogenous society, the population disparity compared to us. But when it comes to, yeah, we are the freest, but it feels like I'm watching those very freedoms that we've celebrated slowly get just picked away like petals on a flower.
And it's more infuriating when people don't see them being taken from them.
Yeah, and they actually learn to. This is what's crazy to me. My Democrat homeboys thank the government or the mainstream when we slowly get the rights we always had back. Like when COVID started to not be taken as seriously, they were all like, oh, we did such a good job. And thank you, Biden. You're giving us freedoms. They act like it's new. No, we always had it, you idiot.
Right. You let them take it from you.
Precisely.
You let them take your freedoms by saying, nope, we have lockdowns and you got to be at home and you've got to wear this mask and you've got to get this shot. And if you don't get this shot, we're going to blame you for all the COVID deaths.
And exactly what they did. This is my first time saying this out loud. So I'll give you an exclusive. I'm a pure blood and I'm proud. First time I've said that.
I don't have it. It was never even a question. I was like, absolutely not. And sadly, it's ruined my faith in the medical system because I don't trust them to ever get another vaccination that they wouldn't put something in it.
Big pharma is way too involved in our system. I feel I've spoken too much. You have people here, but it is time for me to rock out. I'm going to listen a little bit more. Y'all have a lovely, lovely day, and thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, Eli. I really appreciate it.
Have a good one.
You're the best. Thank you. Best, Allie, Squid, Thor, BSR. BSR, I want to see you on my channel once. I want to mod you because you're like the guy. All right, peace out. I'm gone. Goodbye.
Bye. Well, it's sad that they made people feel as though they would be othered for not following the rules.
I got
they're
vaccinated.
totally
I got
shit on
2 of the
people.
jabs, and it made me so fucking sick. No, I'm not getting another one. Fuck you. I've never been so sick in my life.
They lied to people with that. I tried to change my earphones. I can't put my Bluetooth ones in. But I remembered what I was going to say is on the cancer cure. In 2019, there was a boycott on Israel. And Israel came out and was like, we'll have a cure for cancer in 6 months. Because, well, mind you, there was boycott for Israel. And then, like, after that, you didn't hear anything about the boycott. And you never heard about the cure for cancer after that, supposedly, It was like the beginning of 2019. I remember hearing about it.
It just comes down to, like, that where our tax dollars are going. Why are we sending billions of dollars to other countries when we could be using that money for
Absolutely.
research or going into non-existent space, billions of dollars.
We could be putting the money towards something good. Yeah, and they just waste our money. They got a cure for cancer, believe me.
But it doesn't make the cure doesn't make the big pharma any money. So why give it to us?
Right.
That's why it's kind of scary that they rolled this vaccine out so quickly and they pushed it so hard. If it's like, what else could have been in it that you're trying to give people when we can't even find cures for other things?
Yeah, and you
Right,
can get the vaccine anywhere. I mean, I'm surprised they didn't have it in McDonald's drive-through, you
Oh
know?
my goodness, it's everywhere. Yeah.
Mhm. It's
But
really crazy. My mom, she's been a nurse my whole life. I mean, like I said, I'm 33. I think she's been a nurse for like 40 something years. Has her RN, has her BSN, and she has a history of pulmonary embolisms and blood clots. And I looked at her and I was like, please do not get this vaccine. And she was like, I'm not. She was like, absolutely not. Not a risk I'm willing to take.
that was the reason I gave people why I couldn't get it. It's because I have a blood clotting disorder that causes blood clot. So that was the reason I would give to people. Because I think if I would have got it, it would have killed me.
And I don't
Very much
understand
so.
why they don't understand that. Like, her hematologist did not want to give her a waiver.
My doctor still tries to, well, this last time he didn't, but 6 months ago, he's still trying to give it to me. And I was like, are you serious right now? I said, I don't think with my, gene that would be, he's like, oh, I think it'd be all the more reason. I'm like, are you kidding? Like, no, bro. No.
No means no. I don't want it.
Exactly.
And I think I posted a video on TikTok where they were interviewing Fauci, and I'm like, who is listening to this man? Like, who's listening to him anymore?
It was embarrassing because he went from one end of the spectrum to the other. And it was just completely asinine. And the media has manipulated the whole fucking world with TV.
Yes. And they don't want to bring up things like, they don't want to bring up Fauci's past. Like, this motherfucker was saying that you could transmit AIDS by sharing cereal at the breakfast table.
Mm.
Right. Also, the same thing with the cure for AIDS. The founder of the test that they were able to use for COVID, I think his name was Terry, but anyway, he had stuff for AIDS long before, and Fauci, like, hid it all back in the day, when they were trying to, when AIDS first came out.
So I have a question. This is kind of a crazy off the wall question and weird. Do y'all remember when you were learning about like birds and the bees and like all the STIs and STDs you could get? Like, if you had herpes or HIV, it didn't matter if you had an outbreak or not. Like, you could still spread it, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I was
Especially
taught.
herpes, but yes.
Well,
Yeah.
now I've been seeing these ads because Julian watches baseball, about these drugs that are coming out, and basically they're saying, oh, you don't have to, you won't spread it even if you don't have an outbreak. And I'm like, wait a minute, that goes against everything we've ever been told.
Yeah,
that
sex
is kind of-
education in school, and
It's like, why are you telling people that it's okay to have unprotected sex when they could possibly be transmitting something to someone just because they're told, oh, if you take this, you can't pass it on. I just, like, our whole medical big pharma industry is just shooting itself in the foot. And it's like, people aren't taking time to put two and two together to see the end game of, like Casey said, eugenics.
My dad always told me, like, from the time I was probably 8 or 9, because his best friend was young, and he kept going to the doctors being like, something's wrong with me. They're like, no, you're like 38 years old, you're fine, blah, blah, blah. He went to like almost 10 doctors. Well, by the time they caught it, it was stage 4 cancer. So my dad always told us, don't think just because they're a doctor that they know what's best. You know your body. Get more opinions.
exactly.
doctors, I mean, they probably just nowadays use their cell phone. I mean, we can research just as much as they can.
And people aren't wanting to work these days, and doctors and hospitals and stuff are just hiring whoever, they don't care because they need the employees, and
Right.
it could be anybody.
It's just like our law enforcement. They defunded the police, and they have trash talked police so much that the people who were on the police department are ones just there to collect a paycheck, or they have this complex where they need to have authority, and those are not the right cops for the position. For that
And
position,
just like the Tyree Nichols case, look at that. That was
Yes.
horrible. It's a prime example right there.
and
Well, and those cops give out all cops a bad name. It doesn't matter.
right,
That's what really
because
hurts them.
they think one bad cop means all cops are bad. And that's why, like, I have friends who have left the force because they're like, I can't do it anymore for my own safety. It's not worth it. And that's like, we had a whole police department here in Selma, North Carolina that quit. They all quit because they had a racist city manager. And they said they would not, they all left. I think it was only like 6 police officers, but for them to all quit and say we can't work under this kind of environment speaks volumes.
They're using race and sexuality for sure against us. It's either one
Yeah.
of those two problems,
I mean, it's just, I see it as, I grew up around everyone. I mean, I grew up in North Carolina, lived in Washington State, Pennsylvania, Georgia. I grew up around a lot of people. So like when I say like I really don't see color, I see a shitty person. They're a shitty person regardless. Like doesn't matter your race, gender, creed, nothing. And it's like, well, that's racist. And it's like, how is that racist? Just because I call out a shitty person, like it doesn't matter.
They want us to believe
And like
that.
they call Trump racist, but there was this
Right.
black lady on TikTok, and she's like, "What does Biden give us? The only thing he's given to black women is safe abortions."
Because of the eugenics.
Well, also look back to Biden's, stuff on video or written down about he's the racist one. Like
Yes.
he's gonna have these, something about schools and jungles with his kids. It's them. They
Well,
fool
he's one of
everybody into thinking they're the good ones. They're not.
the crime bill. He's the one who put people in prison, mostly black people in prison for nonviolent crimes. So what
So
did that
did
do?
Kamala Harris was in California doing the
Right.
exact same thing at the exact same time. Yep.
And it's like, so y'all are the cause for this. So this generational curse that you're putting on these low income families. Y'all did that.
And actually, you're right because it is going all back to eugenics. Because again, they had to break up the nuclear family.
Yep. And now they're letting children
And they were able to
be
do
put
this
on
in
hormone therapy.
like a generation.
Yes, because they're sterilizing our children. They're saying, okay, you don't know what gender you are at 6. You think you're a boy, but you think you're a girl. So we're going to permanently sterilize you, and you will never be able to procreate.
And
I think
that
that's
sucks
a big
because the trans community is the ones getting hurt by this because they don't want to
Exactly.
see what we see with it. It's not that we're against it, but just like the girl from Kentucky that she was in a locker room and this trans girl came in and took their clothes off and had a fully intact penis, and they're
Anywhere else
forcing
that
this
would be
stuff on
sexual
us.
harassment.
Oh my God, I didn't know about that.
Anywhere
Yeah,
else that
With
would
she
be
the
has
sexual
took a
harassment.
stand. She has took a stand for women.
Riley
I
Gaines.
think I know. Okay, okay, I didn't know what that was about.
Yeah.
Okay, I hope I'm not cutting back too much with my thing. Sorry.
No, you're pretty
Very
good.
good.
But it's not that we're against trans people, but don't push stuff on us like that. I don't want to be in a bathroom and come out
You
and
shouldn't
see,
have to be.
and I love trans people. I do.
I just posted a video of Caitlyn Jenner talking to a channel in Australia, but it's her saying, "Listen, this rainbow mafia over here, this is not what people like me think. They are doing this to our children." I just posted it. because they are, you know, and they're using the cover of the trans and the gay people, in my opinion, to gain like thinking everybody thinks like this. Like, no, you're ruining our children.
I can't remember. I don't think it was Crowder. It might have been someone else that I watched. And they made a really good argument of people who are truly, truly transgender, or is it, I don't think it's body dysmorphia, but don't feel like they are right in their body, is number one, it's like 0.02% of the population. But they will never let you know that they are the opposite. If they're a man and they're trans to a woman, they'll never let you know that they are a man. You won't be able to see a bulge. You won't be able to see their 5 o'clock shadow, because that
They
is a
get
part
their
of them.
Adam's apple trimmed down, and
Yes, like they want to
Right.
be perceived as a true woman, not a man in a dress wearing a wig.
I just
and
thought
I don't know
that
if you
was
watched
really
the latest Upchurch thing, Allie. He was talking about the trans stuff, or not the trans, but taking away guns. He said that the only people he thinks guns should be taken away from or not be able to buy or whatever is trans people, because of the hormones and the testosterone. And I agree to a point on that, because those hormones and stuff mess with you bad.
Well, look,
You know what I
I
mean?
mean,
And
if a person's on regular medication, that could be counted against them. So why wouldn't something like
Mhm.
that be messing up fogging your mind? It definitely would.
because hormones of testosterone, that's pretty rough, you know. And
That is, it's something your
Right.
body is not meant to handle when you're overloading it with the opposite hormone.
Right. Oh my goodness.
exactly.
I put you in a minute.
Yeah, and I was like, damn, he's right. You know, I hadn't thought about that. Go Upchurch, but
I mean, it is. And that's why it's like, but the people who really are trans are not going, and they're not radicals. They just want to live their life the way they feel comfortable. They're not pushing it on anyone, and they don't
Yeah.
feel it necessary to talk about it. Like, I feel like these fake trans people are pushing it on everyone.
That's
yeah,
exactly
that's why I
what-
said all these fucking shit they want to do is only hurting the trans community more.
It is. It's, I truly, I don't give a shit
hurting the
what you
whole
do
world.
in your own bedroom. I don't care. Do you, boo boo? Like, but number one, leave. Our kids can't even get a fucking tattoo before they're 18. Why can they cut their penis off?
Exactly.
And I think reasons like this that everybody on the right or whatever, just
You're cutting out again, love.
can you hear me now?
Yes.
Hello? Okay, I think that's why
Yes.
the Bud Light is so
Perfect now.
popular. I think it was my alarm going off, sorry. I think that's why the Bud Light boycott is so strong and continuing, is because everybody agrees leave these children alone.
They're forcing this stuff on us.
Well, they're confusing. Children they're so moldable when they're, especially basically like 10 and under, I'll say. You can get them to believe anything. And when you're introducing things to them that their minds cannot comprehend yet, you are confusing them.
Look, you can't even drive a car till you're 16. Come on.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You can't drink or smoke until you're 21, but you can take chemically altering hormones that will chemically sterilize you at 6. It's not right.
And now people's in an uproar. Oh, they can't get
Oh, no.
this now. It's going to mess them up. Well, I mean, it's not that we're against anything. Just use some critical thinking here, you know?
And the suicide rate does not go down post transition for most of these people, because they're not happy regardless of the body they're in. They're depressed, and just for them to alter their body doesn't take away their depression. It usually makes them worse.
It does. I agree. And then all the hormones and stuff on top of it. And
I mean, think about how bad we've always been told hormones are for, like, or steroids are for athletes. What do you think that's doing to a child who has not even gone through puberty yet? They do need help, Casey, and that's it. And they think that us telling them maybe you're really not transgender, maybe there's an underlying issue, then we're crazy or we're bigots. And it's not true.
Look how much hate Dylan Mulvaney's gotten over that Bud Light stuff. And
I
I just feel
don't
bad
think
for it, and
she's
I call her
trans.
a her or whatever, but yeah, she
I don't
is.
think
I
she's
followed her
truly
for a
trans.
while.
But she's an actor. She is an actress. Like, I think she's doing this because she saw that her other little videos didn't get traction, and she's like, oh, well, the transgender thing is in. I mean, she did a video talking about her bulge.
I get
Like,
creepy vibes from her though. It's like, I don't know.
I think this is an act.
Who are we talking about?
Dylan
Mulvaney.
Mulvaney.
Oh,
The Bud Light thing. And people got in an uproar over Kid Rock. What he done with that, shooting those Bud Light cans, and
Kid Rock really kicked off the boycott.
yeah,
It was like the fireworks on the 4th of July.
I laughed. I'm like, I don't even drink Bud Light, so I don't give a shit. They're not losing any money from me. But again, I'm not for
I
cancel
get it though.
culture.
I don't
drink
either, but
It's like, don't cancel them. The way to cancel them without cancel culture is you just
hit their
don't
pocket.
give them. Yep, you just don't buy it from them.
Yep, hit their pocket because they lost what, like $6
That's
billion
exactly
in
what
2
we're
days
doing.
over that.
It's just hilarious. Like, the uproars that they have, like, oh, gotta cancel this person, and it's like, just, you want to cancel them, just stop talking about them. Stop talking about them. Stop buying it from them. I think Budweiser's non-bar sales are down like 26%. So
Yeah, it didn't go as planned for them.
I just
And
thought
now-
about this, but look at all the like things the crazy left like tries to cancel. Nothing has been as effective as the cancel we're canceling with Bud Light. I just thought of that.
mhm.
We're knocking it out the park. We're actually doing it.
It's like one of the biggest shows of stop shoving it down our throats.
Exactly. Don't force something on us.
It's like, why? Just because we don't agree with something doesn't mean that we hate it. And I think that's where
Exactly.
people get lost.
That's
Well,
our
like
freedom of
I said, what you
speech.
do
They
what you do behind closed doors is your business. Don't bring it out here. Don't try to make me, do it.
Big Matt said, what happened to the original gay people, the ones that weren't trying to brainwash kids or change their gender? Oh, I have 2 that live like 2 doors down from me, and they refer to themselves as my gaybers. So, I mean, I love them to death. They're like,
That's awesome.
Mark was like, if I wanted to date a woman or maybe he's a transgender man, he was like, I wouldn't be gay. And I'm like, all right, I hear you.
They're all just getting older. That's a different generation in this because they want the same thing we want. We like to go let us live in peace. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have to. Again, I don't have to agree with what you do. To not, like, I can love you regardless of what you do.
exactly.
Absolutely.
Just don't force it down my throat.
Right.
Right.
It's love
'Cause
the
then I get
sinner, not the
resentment.
sin. Right. Yes, because you keep getting it pushed down your throat. It's like, enough is enough. And it's kind of like all of these protests where, like, I hate to say it, but like January 6th, we were so sick of being silent that we spoke out about it. You pushed
you
us
tried to
to our
get us.
brink. Yeah, and y'all tried to get us.
Well, and these children who it's happening to, the parents are doing it because these children are innocent. They don't even deserve. Oh my God, especially don't deserve it.
No.
Treated like a pawn in the game of life. No.
I remember when me and
For
my
any,
brother was little, he loved the color pink, and everybody made fun of him. He grew up straight as an arrow, you know.
Yeah.
And these days, you know, if your little boy likes pink, they're like, "Oh, he wants to be a girl." No,
like, I made the argument the other day. I was like, my 6-year-old sometimes identifies as a dinosaur. What's the hormone treatment plan for that one?
right?
The kids are kids. They have imaginations that are far broader than ours could ever be.
Right. Praise the Lord on that one because they're so imaginative. I love it. The innocence of the child.
It and it's their innocence. And once you take that innocence from them, they can never get it back.
I
It's
swear,
just-
when the '90s went away, our society fucking went with it.
Well,
It
and
did.
I don't know if you guys went through, but like when I was probably like, I don't know, maybe anywhere from like 11, 12 till the time I was probably like 14 or 15. Like I didn't like my body. Like I thought, like I didn't want to be a boy, but I didn't want to dress like a girl. It was just like a tomboy thing. You know, I think a lot of girls go through it and they've taken
I did.
people,
The baggy
they convince
pants
them
and
that, oh no, you're trans. Yeah. And no, you're just, it's life.
mm-hmm.
I'm still a tomboy. Like I do, like I'll paint my nails, but I'd rather be
Me
out there like
too.
messing with my car or riding the 4-wheeler or playing on the farm. Like I
Yeah,
like,
100%.
I mean, shooting my guns, which are more boy activities, but I'm not gay or I'm not trans.
My power tools are my favorite thing to do. Like,
Yeah, I'd
play
rather
with,
go
like,
four-wheeling
you
and
know?
get muddy than go
That
to a
doesn't sound
beauty
like it,
pageant.
yeah. With my
Yes.
song there.
I mean, it's just they've taken things to the extreme of and putting everyone in a box that it's just like, so you mean every little boy that played dress up growing up in his mom's closet is gay and we just didn't know? No.
No, they're trans. No, I'm just kidding.
And it's like they know that they can't change our minds, which is why they're going after the kids.
Yeah, like Matt's
Yeah,
saying, leave our kids
absolutely.
alone, man. For real, leave our
Yep.
kids alone. Stop it.
Leave them alone. Yep. I agree.
They have no critical thinking the way that adults do. They've never been put in situations, they should never be put in situations that adults don't even want to be put in.
I agree.
But my poor child's got to put up with the conspiracy theorist as a mother. So I try. Like, I try to be like, no, I don't know what this is like. But don't believe them.
No, and they don't want us to have kids. Like the push before was, it's not selfish to not have children. And I agree. Like if you don't want kids, by no means should you be forced to have children's.
But some people don't want kids because they think the world's overpopulated and you
And
can't afford them. And this,
right.
this, and this, not realizing the joy and completion children bring to your life. Not everybody's meant to have kids, don't get me wrong. But,
Right.
you know,
Don't
I don't know,
convince
don't
them that
get
it's
something, yeah,
it's good to not. I mean, I told I told my husband, I was like, we did our part. We've got 2 boys, we've got 2 girls, we're done. But and I'm like, and I hope they have a lot of grandbabies for me. Like I want to raise them to see like children aren't a burden. They're a blessing.
amen. I was just thinking the other day about, like my life down the thing because my parents passed away.
It's a little hard to hear you, love. Sorry.
Oh, but I was just thinking about that the other day. Like, I have to do this for my grandchildren.
Mm-hmm. Doing it not only for our children, but to set up the foundation for them to be able to continue it on. And we have to quit like thinking about just our like using their like climate agenda against them. We have to look out for our future, not just right now in our present when it comes to especially like our morals and our values.
Well, and they're trying to convince me that the Earth has been here for God only knows how long. It can't handle a little heat. Like, come on now.
Right. It's, you know, we have history, we have
But it's BS anyways. I know.
evidence of our ice ages, and it's just the natural quote unquote evolution of the earth to them. I mean, I don't believe in dinosaurs, so I don't know. I think the earth is flat too.
Me too. And regardless if you believe in God or not, our nation or our people, we at least have to have some kind of morals or what have you. You know, we have to hold a standard, obviously.
They out on the Global Watchman's video last night. I was watching. They made a really good argument about not about our government. Basically, if they can convince us that the earth is round, they're basically trying to convince us that there isn't a God. And if they can keep us convinced that there isn't a creator, then they have us in a chokehold, basically.
The world ain't round. The water
No.
would be spewing out into outer
Right.
space.
And the
Well,
thing is they don't want us to believe that there's a God or a creator because of
They want the worship.
the hope I get. Yes. I mean, I don't know.
I don't follow religion anymore. I used to when I was younger because my grandmother and stuff, but it's not that I don't believe in God or I do believe in him. I'm just spiritual. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know.
I do understand that.
Mhm.
Like, I know
And
there's a higher power, but I don't know who. I don't know. It's weird.
no, I understand it. Yeah. I've come a long way with my spirituality in the past couple months.
Same here.
Yeah, me too.
You can't hear me?
Hon-
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
But my spirituality, like, I'm working on because I believe the same. You know, like, I believe in God. Like, you don't have to go to church. You know God.
I feel honestly, the more I research and the more I deep dive into this truther movement, the closer it brings me to God. It just like, even like Casey's talking about like flat Earth, like he does, like from waters to waters and from one edge of the earth to the other edge of the earth. Well, a globe doesn't have edges. We were taught that in school.
Right.
And it's it just blows my mind that they won't look at they're not going to look at the biblical scripture, but it also talks about the firmament and that we're protected by the firmament. But because of science, it's
I
not.
have to
It's
say
a globe.
this. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I gotta say this before I gotta go. But I also wanted to say because of my digging into the truther channel since like 2017ish, because after my dad passed away, I didn't know I had no one to get answers from, and it took me from not really like my faith whatever to knowing there's a God. And I'm not trying to push it off like on anybody, but that's just for me. It was crazy how much the truth really brought the truth all the way around.
Mm-hmm. It is. It's sad that they want to call it a cult, but it's not. It's the truth. It's we just want to know, and they want to keep everything hidden and
Well,
keep us in this little box.
right. And then when shit hits the fan, they're going to be like, can we get in your cult? Can you put me there?
Yeah.
Absolutely, Squid. We could do that.
Squid. I mean, I am not like the person that convinced me that the Earth was flat is like a merit scholar mathematician, and I am like at a third grade level math, so my arguments would basically stem from his videos.
I'm not a flat earther, but I'm not a round earther either. You know?
They make
And yeah, my
science
math
and math
sucks.
out. They make science and math way more than it needed to be in school, in my opinion.
Oh, my 8th grader he's doing math that I don't even think I did in high school, and he's in 8th grade. It's awful.
Remember them calculators we had to buy and everything? It's like, what the fuck?
Yes. That stupid thing that I still have that
They
I never
still have
put
the
to use.
calculators, just a different version for the kids, but they're really expensive.
Yep. His was like I think mine was like a TI 83 and his was a like TI 85. And I'm like,
And they
this
were
is ridiculous.
expensive.
Yes. And I used it for one semester for for algebra, and it collected dust because I've never had to do any type of algebra in my everyday life like they promised me I would.
Yeah, I don't do none of that stuff either.
Nope. The only kind of accounting I do, believe me, has nothing to do with.
Don't you remember? They were
yeah.
like, you won't ever use a calculator. You guys won't ever carry calculators around in your hands. And look at us. We got phones that calculate everything.
You got
Mhm.
20 and 1 nowadays.
They all lied to us.
Okay, ladies, I got to go get my little one. Have a good one. I'll talk to you later.
Well,
You
thank
too,
you so
love.
much
Thank
for
you for
coming
coming up
up.
with this.
Yes. I'll try to better mic next time. Later.
Oh, yeah. See ya.
Bye, love.
Well,
Savannah, I don't have book smarts. I don't. I got street smarts, common sense. Yeah, I got that too, you know.
I dropped.
I'd rather have that than book smarts any day.
It was just like, it was so insignificant, the things that they wanted us to learn in school that don't pertain to everyday life.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, I dropped out when I think I was a junior, and I literally went and got my GED before anybody else in our class graduated because I was like, I'm done with this. This is bullshit. It's a waste of time.
I graduated, but hell, I'm still kind of dumb. I don't know how I got through school, but
It was a waste. To me, it just felt like what are we doing? We're wasting 8 hours a day to learn things that really aren't gonna help us benefit in life. Like,
I hated school. Oh, I hated it.
it just didn't make sense. And my mom was finally like, yes, you can drop out. I was like, yeah.
Yeah, school. I hated it. I was never so glad it was over.
Savannah said her teacher sucked. The teacher that actually made the decision or helped me make my mind up to move early school her name was Miss Huntley, but we called her Miss Cuntley. She was the biggest bitch. Oh, well, this was fun.
It does look big on the map, Squid. It looks as big as America.
How, when it comes to that, it just, we can't even, like they can't fly planes over the North or South Pole supposedly because of the magnetic poles will mess with like the altimeters and stuff. But so how do we know like all this stuff is what it really says it is?
Right, they could be hiding something there and just keeping us away. That could be the real Area 51 or whatever it was. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe in that either, but
Well, like Antarctica is like and what I think Antarctica is like the ice wall. That's what keeps our ocean waters in. But the way they explained it yesterday on Global Watchman was like, what if outside of the ice walls and the firmament, like that is the heavens? And that's why we've never gone into space, because if we would, it would be a truly spiritual event, and like you basically wouldn't be able to tell anyone.
and why is Earth the only planet that has any kind of activity or whatever? You know what I mean? That I always wondered that.
Well, and all the pictures of these planets are like artist renditions. They're not actual pictures of the planets. Like NASA has more graphic designers and things like in that type of job than like any other company in the world. But why would they need
It's like,
graphic
why did they
designers?
pick Earth to have humans and
Mhm.
life?
They also said that they found the soil samples that they got from Mars supposedly had isotopes that would only come from like a nuclear explosion. How would they have that?
Right.
Exactly, Casey. There are no pictures of Earth.
I think we're aliens. I really do.
Gosh, what if we're the unidentified objects?
We are, yeah. And people's laughing at us. Ha ha. That's how I feel.
No. They always want to say, it's kind of interesting. They made them out to be these little gray characters with big black eyes that look like
Right.
demonic almost.
When we are the aliens.
NASA. No, what's the one? It's like flatearthtruth.com, and it like reverts you or redirects you to NASA.
Oh, wow.
But it's just like insane, like to think about. This kind of goes a little bit over my head, but they tell us that space is a vacuum. But how can our gaseous atmosphere without a barrier be able to survive and exist next to a vacuum?
True. And with all
Like
this weight that Earth has, how's it able to just float in the atmosphere, you know?
And if we're spinning at 1,700 plus miles an hour around,
We should be dizzy as fuck.
right, we should be able to feel it. But not only that, like, I don't think pilots account for that. And I know that there was like the Red Bull guy who went up into the high altitude rocket and then skydived down. They said, number one, that he supposedly called the Earth's curvature, which he didn't. But he landed in basically the same spot that he took off in. But if something's moving at 1,700 miles an hour, there's no way he would have landed in the same spot. He should have been in the ocean somewhere.
True that. Because even 17 miles an hour for something to spin is still kind of fast, you know, for
Exactly. There's going to be some difference from where he took off if the Earth is moving that fast.
how come when I put a ball on my floor it don't move?
Mm-hmm. But they try to use science against us. But if you truly research these scientists or science experiments, they contradict themselves.
Mm-hmm. We should have listened to The Simpsons more.
Oh, right. I saw something about them today about flat Earth because they did a baseball episode and it hit the sky and cracked it.
It's wild how many Simpsons episodes has came to life.
Look, I'm gonna start putting money on Alex Jones and The Simpsons from now on.
Alex Jones, bless his heart.
His whole, they're turning the frogs gay. There's a YouTube video, if you go or YouTube it, it's like Alex Jones Gay Frogs remix, and I literally I think I play that in my head all day. It's so stupid, but it's one of those that's just so stupid it's funny.
That's true, Casey. Cell towers run our cell phones because if you ain't got a cell tower near you in certain spots, you don't get no service.
Yep. And if you notice, I have pretty good internet, normal, like, for whatever. And I think y'all do too. So why did we have more breakups on this StreamYard stream than they did on the moon landing?
Right? They can't even get this right. You think
They
they can get the
get-
moon right?
They gave us this full live video of them landing on the moon in 1969, but we can't even, it's like sometimes people can't even stream without stuff breaking up.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's just, I told Julie, I was like, I'm not here to convince you. I'm just here to warn you. I don't want to have to argue a point to change your mind. I just want you to see all the arguments so that you can make your own educated decision. Casey, have you seen where they have, I think it's like 10G now?
What the fuck?
Yes, it was, I don't know if it's T-Mobile.
They're really trying to kill us. I swear.
Well, it hurt the birds and the, what was the other, airplanes. The 5G was messing with the instrumentation on the airplanes.
I say now 10G, they're really trying to kill us.
It's, why won't it tell me who it is? Oh, it's Xfinity. Comcast has 10G.
Crazy. 10G, what the fuck?
It's like, why are y'all putting this many like waves into the air? Like, it has to mess with our well-being.
We're aliens. I'm young, but I ain't that young, Savannah. I mean, I ain't no spring chicken no more.
Oh, I know the moon landing's not a fact. I'm just saying, like, I think it's ironic that we still have connection issues in 2023, but they had perfect connection in 1969.
Before we ever discovered the internet.
The horizon. Right. We didn't even have home computers back then, but they've got it
Mm-mm.
crisp and clear coming from the moon.
You know, as much as you pay for a
How
cell
long do
phone
you think
these
it's
days,
before?
it'll fucking spit out gold.
Right? I just upgraded because my other one basically died. I'm like, oh, I don't want a new one.
That's what I do. I wait until they're about dead. And it sucks with iPhones because they come out with one. Every time I buy one, I bought the iPhone 12, the regular one, when they first came out. And cause I don't need all that Pro and stuff. And next thing I know, damn, they're already out to 13. I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
Yeah, it's crazy. I think mine was like the 11. I might have had an 11, and like Julian was like, you have to get a new one. And I'm like, but I don't want to.
Yeah, I had the 8 Plus for like 4 years, and the speaker went out on it, so I had to get a new one.
That's what happened with my old one. I couldn't hear it be on speaker, but it was like I couldn't hear it.
I could use it with like my AirPods and stuff, but I couldn't, and it just got aggravating.
Oh, so I saw it, the 10G advertised watching a Braves game, which I'm assuming is because Comcast is big down there because of Time Warner. So I'll have to look at that article. Thank you, Casey.
Well, I used to love Chipper Jones.
Oh, that's my boy.
Mine too.
Oh, although as soon as I start liking a player on the Braves, they get traded.
That's
So,
how
like,
it was for me in pro football because I was a Peyton Manning fan.
Oh no!
Damn, and by the time he fucking retired on me, I'm like, you gotta be kidding me! I'm done with pro football. Nope. I love Peyton Manning.
I was a huge Steelers fan, but I loved Hines Ward.
I don't even watch
He
it
watches-
no more. I watch the Super Bowl for the halftime show.
No, I don't even like those anymore. I'm just like, y'all are.
Yeah. Rihanna this year,
Who told
she
y'all
did
that you look
not.
good in devil horns gyrating like that?
Right. Yeah, Rihanna was not it this year, and I love her, but I loved when the
Have you seen the
Weeknd done
thing?
it.
I think I saw. I
Seen what,
might have
baby?
seen that one because that was years ago. It was like there was a TikTok of a couple of them, and it was like, "This is what happens when you go woke." And it was, I think they had Sam Smith and Billie Eilish, and um, I can't think of the one chick that
I know what you're
Demi,
talking about.
Demi Lovato, maybe, where it was like they were so pretty, or they were, like
Yeah, I think it
Sam
was.
Smith was attractive, like he was an attractive man, and then it was like, what did you do? Ooh, I don't. It's like y'all stylists need to go back to school.
Crazy. It's like Kim Kardashian. I love her and some of the stuff she wears, and I'm like, oh my God.
Yes, it was. Eli brought this up yesterday, or a couple of days ago, when he was talking about Abramovich, and I guess Kim Kardashian is really close to them, or close to Abramovich, and that makes me question all that crazy shit that Kanye was talking about. Like,
It does.
I haven't really looked into it, but I was like, well, that's just really weird that if she's close to the spirit cooker and he's going all crazy and anti-Semitic.
Makes you wonder.
Like, people think that people like Kanye don't exist in real life, and I'm here to tell you they do, because my neighbor up the street was spouting the same type of craziness that Kanye
Looks
was.
like
I mean, I was in such shock that I couldn't even say anything until Julian and I got home, and I was like, did he just glorify Hitler? And Julian was like, yeah, I think he did. And I was like, oh, okay. That's different.
I still don't believe that Aaron Carter overdosed or whatever, suicide, whatever he's supposedly done. I still don't believe that.
Mm-mm.
I'm not going to get hung up on him, but
I just think it's very suspicious that when these celebrities do die, they're all under really weird circumstances, and they're the same. They're usually
let's overdose them every
They're-
time.
they-
Yeah,
Like they were drug addicts. So like, I mean, you've got Kurt Cobain, you've got Brittany Murphy, Aaron Carter,
Chester Bennington.
Chester. Right. They always make it look like they're mentally unstable or they're on drugs.
Like Chester and Chris Cornell done that song together, and they died really close to each other in distance or months or whatever.
I want to say it was like Chester died on Chris's birthday, like the year after. Like there was some sort of symbolism that related back to Chris.
Yeah, I can't remember that song they done, but it was right after they done that song. Bam, bam. You know,
I just
River
the whole.
Phoenix.
I'm looking up now. Those pictures I told you about with Maddie McCann, they made my skin crawl. The
Yeah, I
resemblance.
don't put anything past that because I felt that same way whenever I found out John Podesta lived in Truckee, California with the Kylie stuff. And like, I still don't believe that was an accident like that.
It's too many coincidences. Like for them to say, well, he vacationed in Portugal a lot and he was supposedly seen around, like y'all are just gonna overlook that. Like I think that's a big clue, especially when you put all the pieces together and nobody likes that much cheese pizza and hot dogs. Ugh.
Exactly. And he's always in these places where these girls go missing.
The only one that's coming up is them doing crawling together.
That might be it. Is it like a live performance?
Yes.
That might be it. Because it was a live
Um,
performance that I seen.
I know Colt Ford just came out with a rendition of Crawling, and it was horrible. So don't.
Squid,
wish-
he knows everything about this. He's driving shit. What was that song, Squid? If you can somehow type it for us.
There's another one called Hunger
What's it called?
Strike.
I can't, but my squirrel brain is not working right now. I can't. But they if you listen to the song closely, they call out like some Hollywood shit. Squid, we got to do this live on this, bro.
Yes, y'all do.
There's ties to Canada too with it.
Y'all do. I want to like more about this.
Crawling, he thinks. Yeah, he said it's
Okay.
crawling. He thinks.
Let me see if I can. What are they gonna do? They're gonna
Well, we'll let you play it.
probably pull out YouTube. I said if like you got a copyright.
Yeah, all you got to do when you get a copyright like that is just go in your YouTube studio and go to edit and mute the song. Like, I don't even do that to mine anymore. I just let them go, and because I'm not monetizing, I don't care.
I think I get a lot of copyright strikes on I don't even care anymore. Is it this
Yes,
one?
it's
the
crawling.
top
That
one?
third one. Yeah. Yeah, either one of those. Yeah. That's it.
My mind is shoving the rhyme, I'm dumping, healing the mind and promise to let the sun in.
It's not playing good love.
Yeah, I can't hear it, and I don't know what I'm doing wrong.
Yeah, it's like lagging on my end.
Oh,
Okay, go to where it says
all right.
let me see. Settings. Do you see settings down where it says mute, unmute, cam, settings?
Mhm.
Go hit that and go to your audio and see.
Well, I have them both set to my headphones, and
Mic,
it's
speaker.
letting me.
You need like the output audio then, don't you?
The only one that plays my headphones. I don't know what the deal is. I'll have to. I don't know.
Shit, I'm on my phone or I would screen share it.
It's
Let me go back to these settings here.
let me.
General, let's see what that says. Recording.
It might be. I don't know. Internet, maybe.
Just listen to it when we get off here. Don't stress yourself, love.
I got it saved
You're
on
like
my.
me, you'll squirrel
YouTube.
off, like looking, trying to figure it out for an hour.
I will, and then it's like, oh shit, I forgot I'm on live. I'm just sitting here talking to
I
my.
do that all the time. That's why I say, no, I got to quit doing this.
Yep.
Love, I think I'm going to hop down from here and
Easy.
get me something to eat.
Sorry, I didn't mean to. I was trying to catch my mute before I coughed.
Oh, you're fine.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna end it here. Gosh, it's 2 hours. This was awesome. This was so much
Good
fun.
job.
I'm so glad that you
It was.
and Eli, Celeste came up here. But well,
Everybody
we
in
get together
chat.
and yes, thank y'all so much. I really appreciate it. It's really I'm a ball of nerves up here, so thanks for bearing with me.
Oh, I understand that. And it gets hard to talk when you're by yourself.
I do, and then it's like I can't get my voice. My voice has been gone for months, and I sound like I'm crazy. So it's all right. One day.
All right. Well, I'll talk to you
Well,
later.
thank
love.
y'all.
You're welcome, and
We're
thank
gonna have
you.
to set it up again. All right. Bye, girls. All right. Thank y'all. I will try to set this up for another one. Anybody that wants to come up, I'll post the link again next time and we'll have another chat. I hope y'all have a great rest of your day and keep exercising your freedoms so we don't lose them. Love y'all. Bye.